there is a lot of pressure right now on leagues, companies, event planners, and others to make tough decisions here. Cancel and lose revenue, or hold their events and let us make our own decisions. So do you think the United States needs a uniform policy on mass gatherings? Go ahead and vote right now on 12news.com/bullhorn. Like, do we need a directive from U.S. leadership here? Someone to tell us what we should be doing? It's already happening in places like Seattle, as we just mentioned, banning any gathering over 250 people. San Francisco and Ohio canceling any event with more than 1,000 people. First, the NBA banned its fans, then flat out suspended the season after Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert tested positive for the coronavirus. But here in the Valley, no changes to spring training. And remember, these games, they don't even count. Coachella is postponed until October. We told you yesterday the Ivy League canceled its conference basketball tournaments, and now the league is canceling all spring sports. Imagine that. You're a senior college baseball player. Your final season is over before it even begins. The NCAA tournament is still happening, but at this point, without fans in the arena. If there's one consistent theme here, it's inconsistency. So do we need a uniform policy? A lot of leagues are looking for some leadership here. So what do you think? Do you think that this should come from the government? Is this something that we're looking for here? Bill says no. You can cancel gatherings, but people will still go out shopping to the bank, post office, the mall, restaurants, and more. You will always have people contact unless everyone stays locked in their homes and never goes outside. That's not the question I was asking, though, Bill. Is mass gatherings like concerts and events and stuff like that, not grocery stores and things of that nature, is what we were asking here. Yes, I'm 40, so I'm taking precautions on my health, Brian says. I've had all of my shots, and everyone needs to do the same. You need a policy to tell people to stay away from people right now? Question mark. Sharon says, so clearly she wouldn't be all for this. The question that I wonder is just, spring training specifically got me thinking about this because these games don't even matter.
Right.
Like it's just a cash cow. And maybe that's something that people aren't talking about is like, follow the money, follow the financials. You are asking these leagues to make decisions that could really benefit or hurt their bottom line.
But it seems like when you're looking at pro sports, and you're talking about the NBA, the NHL, when you're talking about them all canceling, it seems like they should all be on the same page, just looking from the outside in. So yes, they probably do need some guidance coming from somewhere saying, okay, if you have like some states, we'll be talking about that later, have said if you have over a certain amount of people, you just can't gather right now.
Right. Right. So, I mean, continue to let us know what you think. 59% of you are saying yes right now because there is some pressure on these leagues. On the Cactus League, you don't think they're talking about this? Like, should we be doing it? Should we not?
Sure.
Whereas they're going to get roasted either way, as we can see some of the comments that we're getting.
It's a tough decision
to
make.
So put it on someone else, and then all of a sudden, you don't have to be mad about the league anymore. So keep weighing in this morning, 12news.com/bullhorn.